What's up, y'all? Today, we're talking about the COVID-19 coronavirus and the impact that it has on the music industry. So the first story I got here is everything is in chaos. The concert business stands to lose billions from coronavirus. So this virus has upended both South by Southwest and Coachella, but more disruptions are on the way as the live music industry scrambles to change course. So they've had to cancel and postpone Pearl Jam, Madonna shows, and by some predictions, we're only seeing the start of the chaos. So here's the thing. While this is affecting live concerts quite negatively, this record label says they're retooling their campaigns to ensure they're robust in their online approach, and they want to innovate in new ways. So artists in China have been hosting festivals online from their bedrooms. I mean, this is going to make or break a bunch of bands out here, probably thousands of bands. Event attendees may only see an increase in hand sanitizer. The music industry could lose as much as $5 billion, and it's the same amount for the film industry, which has already pushed back several high-profile movie production schedules. For the smaller businesses in the festival areas, revenue from nearby music events can determine the majority of the business's earnings for that year. From Coachella, they were projecting $1.4 billion in profits. But the hardest hit group in the industry may be the tour managers, soundboard operators, and other venue employees or crew members who rely on tour income, and they may not be making any salary at all without working on the shows. So the concert goers and the fans are also being hit pretty hard, because a lot of these guys spent in excess of $300-400, and they're booking hotel fees and accommodations. And so these fans spend months saving up to attend these types of events. And as I've said in multiple interviews, music itself is kind of recession-proof. It's an irreplaceable part of the human culture, and consumers will continue flocking to venues and events when deemed safe to do so. So for those of you who still think this is a big hoax perpetrated by the Democrats or the Republicans to tank the economy and make sure this guy can't be elected, we got an interview with an actual doctor here talking about the spread of COVID-19. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Daniel Griffin says COVID-19 is of grave concern. Large-scale events through the end of March should be postponed. Is such a dramatic step necessary? So Dr. Griffin says, yes, all the concerts for the foreseeable future should be canceled. And you might say, oh, only old people get sick. But Doctor over here says no one under the age of 9 has died. So that means a 9-year-old died? Yes, that means a 9-year-old died. So there was a study that came out of China a couple weeks ago where they said if you get 100 people together for dinner, 35 of those people end up infected. Now, just because they're infected doesn't mean that they're automatically going to die, but, I mean, do you really want to take that chance? In one case, there was a dinner with 117 people. 43 of them got infected. If you get people together with one infected person, you can have major spreading events. So, I mean, you can call it a hoax if you want, but, I mean, this is math. There are studies here. I mean, he's a doctor. You're not. I'm not. I generally side with the doctor. Finally, we got an article about Taylor Swift here. She's urging fans to stay home amid COVID-19 outbreak. She's concerned that things aren't being taken seriously enough. So Taylor is seeing lots of get-togethers, hangs, and parties still happening. This is the time to cancel your plans. People are still crowding at bars, restaurants, St. Patrick's Day festivities, despite the increasing spread of the virus. As of Sunday morning, at least 2,815 people in like every state tested positive for the virus, and 59 folks have died. Now, this is not the extent of the amount of research that I did on this topic. There's a very brilliant science YouTuber that I've been following for a few years. One of the things that this gentleman says is the only difference between an overreaction and an appropriate response is the amount of people that have to die. And if that doesn't put this whole situation in the most black and white terms, I don't know what I can do for you. But is it really worth getting paid any amount of money, especially when you're probably only making $100, $150 at your little gig? You could be spreading viruses, and keep in mind like 30% of the people in that venue are going to end up infected. I think this is one of those situations that's going to make a lot of artists look really stupid and really greedy and selfish in retrospect, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, when it's like, oh, well, I don't want to cancel my gigs. I don't want to cancel my event because I could still maybe make some money. I don't even know if I'm going to end up canceling my concert or not. After reading some of this stuff, I'm leaning towards, it's probably not going to happen. But again, I still think there's hope in this scenario because it's going to force all of us, musicians, artists alike, to focus on our content creation, focus on how we can cultivate and develop an audience online, especially now that so many more people are going to be using the internet, using content delivery systems like YouTube and Facebook. I think that's going to be a great thing and actually cause maybe even a little bit of a renaissance in the amount of music that gets discovered and gets shared and appreciated out there. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think about this whole thing? Is it totally blown out of proportion? Is everyone hysterical? Or do you think these doctors and scientists might be onto something with all their fancy data and graphs and all that? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to share this video with all the musicians that you know. Make sure they're taking appropriate precautions. I know I heard somewhere about touching your face, which can transmit moisture and carry viruses. That's a bad idea. Definitely subscribe to this channel if you want to see all my future videos. I basically make informational entertainment content for musicians and artist-brained people. So if you're maybe less politically engaged, this might be an interesting channel for you to check out. I also got tons of awesome music on here. Hit the like button if you're feeling the threads and the nice new hat. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for y'all today. Do your own research. Make up your own mind. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to think. In my opinion, I think we should all be more like the artists and musicians in China who are challenging themselves to focus on how they deliver content, how they can create a multimedia experience for their fans, even if they're staying at home. And that's how you're going to get the money.